This stage, history shows a clear pattern. The same system that helped a man rise now starts to work against him. The structure that once gave him speed now creates delay. The fear that once gave him control now creates silence. And the loyalty that once supported him now becomes fragile because it is no longer based on trust, but on pressure. And pressure is not stable. One of the most important parts of the turning point is the moment reality begins to shift. Not real reality, but perceived reality. Leaders in this stage often begin to believe the situation is still under control, even when signs show otherwise. Reports may be filtered, problems may be hidden, bad news may be softened before it reaches the top. So the leader continues to believe things are stable while cracks are already spreading. This is one of the most dangerous illusions in history. The belief that control still exists when it is already weakening. Meanwhile, outside forces become more organized. What was once scattered resistance starts to form structure. What was once fear becomes courage. What was once isolated becomes united. This shift is slow but powerful, because history shows that unity often grows strongest when pressure becomes too heavy. Inside the system, loyalty also begins to change. Some followers remain loyal out of belief, others remain out of fear. But fear-based loyalty is fragile. It does not survive pressure. So when the system starts to weaken, that loyalty becomes uncertain. People begin to hesitate. They begin to look for exits. They begin to think about survival instead of obedience. And once survival thinking starts, control becomes harder. At this stage, the leader often tries to regain full control. This can lead to stronger actions, stricter rules, and faster decisions. But instead of fixing the problem, these actions often speed up the decline. Because when pressure increases on an already stressed system, cracks spread faster. History repeats this pattern again and again. The turning point is not the fall itself. It is the moment when the fall becomes unavoidable, even if it has not fully started yet. And slowly, the system enters the final phase, the phase where control begins to slip beyond repair, the phase where every action meant to save power instead reveals its weakness, the phase where the most dangerous men in history begin to realize something they never expected, that power is not permanent, it is temporary, and once it starts to break, it does not return the same way again. At the beginning of the fall, it still does not feel like a fall. Not at first. It feels like pressure. It feels like problems. It feels like challenges that can be fixed. Even for the most dangerous men in history, denial is strong in this stage, because the mind does not accept collapse easily when it has lived so long in control.